Welcome to the Consulting Success Podcast with your host, Michael Sapersky, where we take you deep into the world of elite consultants.
Hey, it's Michael Sapersky, and today I'm very excited to have Dauwn Parker joining us. Dauwn, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you come on here today, Dauwn, and just share with us your journey and experience along the consulting path. Why don't we start off and just have you share a little bit about, or kind of tell everyone, those who don't know you and what you're up to, what it is that you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Dauwn Parker, and I started Precision Partners consulting firm back in 2013. Our focus is really in the areas of healthcare and higher education, and really looking to take them to the next level with their fundraising. And we do that really with taking a hard look at their operations, helping them streamline, optimize, and choose the right technology to support those operations.
Awesome. And what were you doing before that?
So before that, I've been really in and out of consulting, obviously working for other consulting firms pretty much most of my career, with the focus being in the area of customer relationship management software that really kind of boomed onto the scene in the 90s. And with that, I really worked with a lot of private sector companies, financial industry, high tech, right. All sorts of companies, and just really got to a point where I didn't see this growth in, the nonprofit sector. Where were our universities? How were they taking advantage, of this concept, right, of building relationships, using information to strengthen your relationships with your constituents in the nonprofit sector. And so I kind of made the transition in the early 2000s to UCLA actually, and was trying to work within that and see what about the private sector, what I gained from structure, from the methods, how could I apply that in the university space? And so had quite a bit of success in streamlining some processes with UCLA. They're known as, a public university with, some of the largest fundraising goals out there. And after that, I made a transition to healthcare with City of Hope as well. Large, huge cause in terms of cancer research, right. But really looking to push that further, push the envelope on being able to do more by leveraging their fundraising arm to do that and bringing in more revenue. So I was able to make an impact there as well. And in the process of that, I got to meet a lot of other organizations. I was on quite a few, advisor boards and things like that. And I found that some of the methods that I was applying at the institutions where I worked, people wanted to know more about it. Other universities, other healthcare organizations, other nonprofits. And so that's when I made the decision in 2013 that, hey, I want to make a bigger impact and, kind of spread this information and these vital tools across more organizations. So I set out then, and that's where Precision Partners came onto the scene.
Right. And so before you actually went out, on your own and started to build the consulting business, which we'll talk about here in just a moment, it sounds like you really identified a market that wasn't being served, right? There was opportunity to bring in, new strategies, a new approach to the healthcare and education markets, specifically, around the area of fundraising. But I'm just wondering, what really pulled you to that? Because some people might look and say, okay, yeah, there's markets that aren't really being tapped right now, but maybe that's for a good reason. Maybe there isn't enough opportunity, or maybe the nonprofits, they don't have enough money. So what actually kind of pushed you over the edge, or just even pulled you in that direction to say, you know what, I want to take a position, and start working with UCLA on this, or City of Hope, and explore it further?
Yeah, so I think it was my interest, right, in kind of providing what I saw, as you said, a gap in the market. So that was one aspect of it. But I think an additional catalyst was more of a pull. So essentially in 2013 or to the latter part of 2013, I actually had done, quite a few presentations. This is before I went kind of full time into the consulting arena. So people started to see me out in the industry and, really kind of caught on to some of the concepts that I was putting out there and some of the kind of tools and techniques that were being used. And I received a call towards the latter part of 2013 from who would become my first client and said, we're implementing a brand new system. We really want to do it correctly. We have a budget that we fought for and we don't want to waste it. Can you help us?
Right.
And so it was the combination of that confirmation that, you know what, I was right. There is a gap in the industry. And then there was the pull from an ideal client, with that phone call. So I think the perfect combination of the two, like seeing it and then getting the confirmation of someone calling you. Cause how often does that happen? Where you actually, get a call out of the blue, right when you're thinking of, there's a need out there. And so that was confirmation for me and I went full steam ahead.
Right. Especially the early stages, right? Those kind of calls aren't as common. And I want to, we'll get to talking about, because you guys have gone on to win multiple 6-figure projects. And so I want to kind of talk about that as well. But before we even get there, let's just kind of look at, so you've made the decision now to step out on your own and to leave kind of the corporate space, if we can call it that, the career, and really venture into starting your own consulting business. Was that a hard decision, or did that kind of come natural to you?
Oh, it was a tough decision, Michael. I am a conservative person by nature. And so while I'm willing to take risks, it's definitely calculated risks. So it wasn't an easy decision. But I think that along the same time is when, I found your material also out, kind of searching on the web, trying to, put things together. The first thing trying to figure out, pricing from a consulting standpoint, because I've done it from, a big firm.
Right.
And so I know what can be charged, to the client, but in this specific market and with the structure of an independent consulting firm, I, wasn't quite sure.
Right.
And so I think having, conversations with you, being exposed to the overall kind of consulting success groups. I think what helped me make that leap was to know that there's other people out here doing this successfully. I'm confident that I'm a pretty intelligent person and, I can do this too with a repeatable marketing strategy, kind of roadmap and guidance. And so, I think with the passion, with my confidence and, knowing the market, the industry, as well as having the comfort of, using some of your proven methods, I felt I was able to check all the boxes for me that, this is a calculated risk. This can be done. Yeah,
you took a leap. I'm so glad you did. And I can't believe it's now, 4, almost going on, 5 years now.
Yes.
Wow, time flies. So what do you do, Dauwn, to really stay focused on success and growing revenue? Like just in the day-to-day, week to week, what do you do to ensure that things are moving forward with your business?
Sure. So the biggest thing I think that has been successful for me is really staying committed to having those conversations, having conversations with existing clients, just to continue to understand the value that they're receiving from our services, right? To further build out our story, to share with new ideal clients.
Yeah.
So I think those conversations, as well as, not being scared to pick up the phone and continue to have, those conversations with organizations who've never heard of us, right? To continue to have conversations throughout, our partner, organizations, to continue to have conversations either with, others in our industry, even other consulting firms. I've been able to reach out and, kind of brainstorm, with other, consulting firms. So all of those conversations, I find, continue to get Precision Partners' name out there in the marketplace. My name, my expertise, continues to, become more well known among folks in our industry. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had where I think I'm calling a stranger and they've heard of me already through a conversation with, another mutual acquaintance.
Yeah. I mean, guys and gals, for all of you that are listening to this right now, like what Dauwn is sharing, if there really is a secret, I mean, all of us here, there's lots of hype out there online, these days especially, but what Dauwn just shared right now, like if there is a secret to growing your consulting business, that was it. Like it's all about conversations, right? Everything that you should be focused on, it always comes back to having a conversation. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, Dauwn, because certainly that is, I would say the most important key to growing your business. Knowing what you know now, is there something that you wish that you would have done more of or maybe differently early on in your business?
I would have jumped out there sooner.
I've heard that before. Yep. Right.
I had no idea it would take off this quickly, and I knew I would enjoy it, but I had no idea I would enjoy it this much in the level of freedom and to be able to get back to being creative. I didn't know I missed that in more of the corporate structure. So yeah, I think the biggest thing, doing it sooner. And I would think as we've hit kind of a growth pattern with Precision Partners, being more diligent about how to let go. And
what do you mean by that?
So, when you start any consulting firm, as a single individual, you're a one person show. So everything that has been created, came from me. And there was a certain attachment to all of the services that I created, all the services that I delivered. But in order to grow, it was necessary to start to bring others into that process in a strategic manner.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that I was so attached to some of the things that I created and really had a hard time letting that go, letting others in where they did have the expertise to provide portions of our services. So I think that has definitely been a struggle for me. I wish I would have had that ability maybe a little sooner than later, at which it's taking place now. But that's been a longer road than I anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, it's an evolution of your business, right? The fact that you're able to benefit from that now, and for everyone listening, maybe at the early stages can even benefit earlier. So it's all part of it. But
right.
let's kind of switch over now to talking about some of the projects that you've worked on. And I know that you've worked on some, you've landed some very large projects, including a multiple six-figure consulting deal. Yep. I think people would be interested just to kind of explore that a little bit. Like, what went into that? What do people need to know about landing a project that is, like, I don't know how specific you want to get here in terms of sharing numbers, but let's just say,
Sure.
a large, multiple six-figure consulting project that you've landed. Like, what do people need to do from a mindset perspective and also from kind of a tactical approach and application perspective to create that?
While we work with a lot of seasoned and experienced consultants here at Consulting Success, I'm often contacted by new early-stage consultants. Invariably, the question I'm asked is, what are the steps I should take to become a successful consultant and grow my consulting business to my first 6 figures per year? Well, I'm excited to announce that we've opened the doors for our Momentum program. This is our most popular program for early stage consultants, and it has helped almost 1,000 consultants to start, run, and grow successful consulting businesses. It gives you the step-by-step plan to help you with your messaging, your fees, and pricing strategies, how to win more proposals, how to go to market more effectively, developing a marketing system to generate leads consistently, and so much more. And right now, until September the 19th, you can sign up for Momentum and get 50% off the regular price by going to consultingsuccess.com/audio. That's consultingsuccess.com/audio, AUDIO. Only 100 spots are available to join Momentum and get 50% off. This deal is only available until September the 19th or until all 100 spots are gone. We won't be opening up new spots in this program for several months, so don't wait. Go to consultingsuccess.com/audio. That's consultingsuccess.com/audio, AUDIO.
So once again, I think it started with a conversation, and I think the most important element was patience in landing, the 6 figures. What accumulated to the first one was around 250,000. The other one, the next one, was almost double that. But that doesn't happen overnight.
Sure.
It was, persistence in continuing to have conversations that were valuable to the university and then the healthcare organization that we were engaged with. And it was a lot of listening to where they were struggling, what challenges they were coming up against, and if I could provide something of value, something that can make it easier right now, not a service, but just, kind of words of wisdom, or let me connect you with, another institution that I know that's having a similar challenge. For you to have a conversation, and one, to know you're not by yourself. This is not unusual. So by becoming a resource in some instances, for connecting them and having conversations, I moved from, wow, this person is pretty knowledgeable, to I trust this individual, and I became a trusted advisor even before, we laid out any contracts.
Right.
And so, yeah, the sale at that point becomes a lot easier when I was already the trusted advisor.
Yeah, I think that's such great advice and kind of that share there, because a lot of people have this more of a transactional mindset, right? They're thinking about is landing a deal or making, more money, right? Growing sales and revenue. Like all those things are important, but in the consulting business, it's not about a transaction, right? It's about a relationship. And what you just laid out there, Dauwn, I think is a really great example of patience and focus and kind of commitment to serving clients. And as you do that, you provide more value, and that positions you right in a place where there's a lot more trust, and you've built in a relationship. And who do people want to buy from, right? They want to buy from people who they like, that they enjoy spending time with, or at minimum that they feel that they can trust, and someone who can get that job done. So you guys have done that just exceptionally well, and clearly it shows by the types of projects that you have been landing. Dauwn, here, like, as I want to flip this a little bit now, because I think, we're talking about their success, right? But things aren't always just like, nice and everyone's smelling roses and happy. Like, as consultants, we all, I think, all encounter situations that are tough as well, right? Maybe it's what we're dealing with clients, or just simply something's happening and, we lose a project, or we're having a bad day, whatever it might be. How do you respond to that? What's your kind of coping mechanism, or when something just challenging comes up, what do you do?
So, I'm lucky enough to have some really good people around me. So after the Precision Partners started to grow after a year, my husband Mario actually made the decision to make a career switch and come on board with me and really try to take care of the operations aspects of the company, really to free me up to focus on, developing those products, services, and really keep me out there with the client and not necessarily bogged down with some of the back end elements.
Right.
What that also gave me is a great sounding board as well. Mario has for the last 10 years pretty much had his own business, but in a different industry. So he had some of the experience and the toughness that I was developing. So being able to have those conversations with a very close partner in my life and get that encouragement, just, from that standpoint, and just unrelenting support, I think has been very key. And then also my willingness to share when I'm having a tough time, because I think naturally as individuals and even as successful individuals, we don't always want to share when things are going wrong. But being able to come to the kind of consulting success group, the Facebook group, or, now having developed individual relationships by, attending the mastermind events, I can call people up. I can put things out there. Recently I had to cancel a vacation because of the workload for the consulting firm. And I was really upset about that because I had taken it to a place. What did I do wrong to, not organize my time, not really manage this well in order to have to give up a vacation? And I went and put that out there in the group. And, I got a lot of uplifting encouragement, a lot of ways to look at it in terms of, the focus. This is right now, that you gave up a vacation, but to continue with the commitment to the growth of the business, and also in order to reward myself to quickly create another vacation, which I did. I did take the advice out there, something else I can look forward to. And that allowed me to kind of move through those situations. So really just being willing to share what's going on when it's not going well, and to know and to have a support system to get that feedback and sounding board to move through it.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Whatever it is that people are using, right? Finding someone or a group of people that they can get some support from, because growing a business, especially as, an independent or small consulting firm, like a lot of people can feel lonely along the way, and there's lots of challenges that come up. So for all you guys listening, like whatever that might be, and whoever it's, from, like find some support, because that can really, really help. I know we've seen this in so many instances. But I mean, you, Dauwn, have Mario as well, and Mario is just such a phenomenal guy. So I always love hanging out with you guys. What else do you guys do when you're not consulting? Like how do you kind of balance the whole work-life thing?
Sure. So we are avid tennis players. We both have athletic backgrounds in general. That's really what drew us together as a couple. And that aspect for us is non-negotiable. So we continue playing tennis. Mario has actually expanded into beach tennis, and I've dabbled into that. So, we're actually traveling to play tournaments at this point. Awesome. So whether it's beach tennis or whether it's, hard court tennis, we've kind of identified for us tennis as the non-negotiable outlet to relieve stress, to continue with, we have some great friendships and relationships through tennis. We go to tennis tournaments, professional tennis tournaments together. So that's really been our outlet and balance. And also, our family life. We have 2 children who are both in high school. We really are open with them about the business, the ups and downs of it. So, we really see not only building Precision Partners, obviously, as a love, of ours and a way to provide for our family. But we also look at it as our children are kind of front row and center to the experience of, being an entrepreneur. They already know what that is. So just having those, family conversations are interesting around here. And we're very open. And so they actually, kind of provide that levity sometimes from their, fresh young perspective. Like, okay, well, what's the big deal? Why is this really bothering you? And so sometimes our children give us a reset as well.
Tell me more about that. I mean, like, why have you chosen to be open with them about your business? Because I think there's a lot of people out there who have this mindset of like a separation between work and business. They come back from the office, or even if they're working from home, like, they leave that room and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm not going to talk to my family about what's going on, good or bad. Maybe a little bit of the good stuff if I want to kind of, share that, but not the bad. And they really keep closed. So for you guys, I mean, was that just, did you not even think about it and it just kind of was a natural thing, like, yeah, we're going to talk about it? Or was it something that you actually discussed and made an intentional decision to include your children in?
I think for us, it was, the pull was from both sides. I thought it was important for our children to know, beyond what, the traditional careers that they see out there, especially given their ages, and the competition that they're already up against in high school. All of the boxes you have to check to get into a good college, or a really high performing university. They're already starting to feel that pressure and already starting to ask questions within themselves. What career path do I want to take? So with that coming up already, it seemed to me a responsibility of ours to open their eyes to something that's not always talked about in your traditional school settings. Being an entrepreneur, understanding what consulting is. And then on top of that, they were inquisitive. They knew there was some success going on, mom and dad are doing well. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Some of that came from, exposing them. And then they had very pointed questions. They wanted to understand what Precision Partners, was, what we did, how did we, contribute, to the overall business world. And what started to happen is a certain pride. They have a certain pride about our consulting firm. And so it's become kind of a family, bonding, element for us. And so, and I wanted them to have a real picture. So that's why I chose to not just share the successes, but I said, hey, tonight, I'm up pretty late. This is how it goes. We're trying to either present a deliverable, or we're trying to, provide a scope of work by a deadline. Deadlines are important. Your commitment to your clients are important. And so I wanted them to see that firsthand.
I think it's wonderful that you guys are doing that. Such a great opportunity for kids, for anyone, just really anyone, but especially kids to just see that firsthand, and the way that you're being open about not only the good, but the bad, just like everything really, I think is just such a wonderful opportunity. The other thing here I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned, like, in terms of tennis, it's a non-negotiable. Tell me more about that. Like, what does that actually mean? When you say it's non-negotiable, like, was it specifically you block out times in your calendar? Like, what are you guys doing, or what's the mindset around that?
Yeah, definitely. So there are standing days, definitely, when we are in town, that, Tuesday evenings are beach tennis, the weekend, either Friday evenings, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning are blocked out for hard court tennis. And so our commitment, is obviously to get at least a couple of days a week. And we also, there's certain tournaments we play every year. And so with those tournaments, so it's one thing to go out socially and play, but we find committing to our, standard 3 tournaments a year, you don't want to show up in the tournament and be embarrassed. So it also encourages us to have that commitment of practicing and being prepared up to that tournament date.
Yeah, I think that's a great example that people can apply, not that everyone's going to be playing tennis, but just in all aspects of life. Like, talk with a lot of people, and seems like many people these days are feeling overwhelmed. There's so much going on. They can't find time to do certain things that they want. But I always believe that you can always find time, right? It's all about just making the commitment and prioritizing, and that's exactly what you guys have done here, right? Found something that's important to you, and then it's blocked in there. It goes in your calendar. It's not something that just, you think about. It's in there. And that then gives you the opportunity to say no to other things that may come up and may want to take those slots because it's planned, right? Like that's really such a key to productivity that I think many people can benefit from here, is that if you want to get more done, right, just really prioritize what's important to you, both on the business front as well as the personal front, and then get it in your calendar so that you know what you're working with, and then you can work around it. Because clearly, you guys have done that. You're finding time for what's important for you on the family front, on the health, the wellness, the fun side of tennis and so forth, and tournaments, and your business is still growing. So, a job very well done. Really excited to continue watching as you and Mario and Precision Partners grows. Dauwn, thank you so much for coming on here today. What's the best way for people to learn more about your work and to connect with you guys?
Definitely you can go to our website, which is www.precisionpartners.org, to learn about our services. And I'm also available on LinkedIn, Dauwn, DAUWN, Parker, Parker.
Awesome. Love it. We'll definitely link that up as well. Dauwn, again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us here today.
Absolutely, Michael. I really enjoyed it.
Are you ready to take your consulting business to the next level? Learn more about the Accelerator Coaching Program at consultingsuccess.com.